Thanks to the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, we're getting all kinds of interesting Return of the Jedi related collectibles, including a lot of stuff from Jabba's Palace, which is of course what interests me the most. Today we're going to be talking about the Jabba the Hutt and Salacious B. Crumb Funko Pop set. It's number 611, and this is actually the third iteration, the third version of Jabba that Funko has made in pop form. At the end of the video, we'll do a little comparison and see how they stack up against each other. But this one here, as I say, is just coming out now. I just got this from Amazon literally yesterday, so I wanted to go ahead and make a video about it and see what it's like. So, real quickly, we can look at the box. It's got kind of a nice design, you know, the corner here where you can sort of see the entire figure, and also a top window on the back. It's got the figure itself, as well as some of the other Return of the Jedi related Funko Pops that are being released. So, not a whole lot else to show, really. I do like the artwork here, but I do want to get it out of the box and see what it looks like, so let's go ahead and do that. One thing to note, by the way, is that the box is not taped or anything. It's not permanently closed, and so if you wanted to, even if you're a in-box collector, I don't think it's that big of a deal to take it out and then later put it back, because as long as you're careful, there's really no difference between a figure that's been left in the box and one that you have just taken out to look at, in my opinion. Of course, depends on your own philosophy on that front, I guess. So here you have it out of the box. He's a nice size, really, quite large for a Funko Pop. Comes with, importantly, the throne, which is not something that we've seen before. The previous large size Jabba set did have a cardboard throne that you could use for display, but it was not, not really part of the figure, and it seemed a little on the cheap side, if I'm honest. So I'm very happy that they did actually include a fully sculpted plastic throne. These guys, I haven't actually tried taking them off the base, but it doesn't look like, yeah, they're permanently attached. Jabba agrees with me there. Salacious Crumb, by the way, is not a bobblehead, but Jabba clearly is. I have mentioned in the past, I'm not really that big of a fan of bobbleheads or of the Funko bobbleheads, but they are what they are, just for licensing reasons. Apparently, Funko had to make all of their Star Wars pops into bobbleheads, so that's what they are. But honestly, this one is kind of cute. So we've got here, as I say, the throne has a railing, it has the hookah, it's got this clear plastic hose going over to his hand where he's holding the hookah pipe mouthpiece. The railing here goes all the way around to here. Then we've got some sculpted pillows and whatnot, an animal carcass or whatever this is, a fur. So if we look at the throne a little bit more closely, you can see it's got the sculpted gargoyle heads, which look okay, I think. I mean, they're kind of stylized. Instead of having 4 on the front, which it should have, it has this gold Star Wars plaque, which honestly looks decent. And I think, the idea here is that this is sort of taking the place of the Star Wars logo that often appears on the base of Star Wars pop figures. It does look a little weird just to have Jabba on this throne with a giant Star Wars logo on it. I did notice, and right away when I took this out of the package, that he's got his tail scar here. It's a little bit of a bright orange color, but, it's interesting that they included that detail. They also included the arm tattoo here, although it's not red. It looks pretty good, though. He is holding his drink cup here. I like the clear plastic that they've used here. On mine, I think the paint job is pretty good overall. There is a little bit of slop here on his hand where they've gotten the gold from the hookah pipe onto his hand. He looks a little bit pale. I feel like they could have gone a little bit darker with the green and with the orange on his front. But overall, it's a nice look, and I don't really have any major complaints. We should probably look at Salacious Crumb here too. Of course, they have released him as a bobblehead in the past, but this one is really just an accessory for Jabba, I guess you'd say. So, yeah, in conclusion, I'm pretty happy with this set. I think it's better than the previous one for sure. And I would like to see and show you what it looks like, first of all, with the other Jabba Pop figures that have been released in the past. All right, here we have all of the Jabba Pop figures that have been made. The new one, of course. This one is the Walmart exclusive version that came out in 2015 as a set. And then, of course, we have the original smaller Pop figure there, kind of floating on an acrylic stand. Personally, I think this one is the best for several reasons, which I will get into in a minute here. But it is smaller than the Walmart one for sure. And it is a little bit too bad that it's attached to the base. Both he and Salacious are not removable from the throne, which means you can't put Leia on there, for example, if you were to have the old sitting Leia. And you can't reposition it or anything, but, you know, I don't think that's a huge deal, frankly. I mean, I guess you could kind of put her on the side here if you really wanted to. Yeah, it kind of works. But, yeah. Generally speaking, though, this one here, the original larger one from Walmart, I just always had a little bit of a problem with, just because, well, I mean, they basically just enlarged this one, and the small one here always looked a little bit like a bird or something to me. It looked a little off, didn't look quite like Jabba, in other words. And especially if you take these guys off and you just look at him on his own, he's kind of got a weirdly long tail that's spindly, and I don't know, I just don't really like him as much as this new one. What do you think? I've heard split opinions. Some people like the other one better, partially because it's bigger, partially because of the you know, the Leia that it included and so forth. But I feel just the sculpting on here, the throne, having it be an actual plastic throne, just generally speaking, I think it looks a lot better. I will say, though, I do think, especially when we compare these two side by side, you can see on the back of Jabba, this Jabba here, that he's got a lot darker green paint than on here. This is almost like a pastel color. And in some of the sort of prototype photos that I saw, this Jabba had a similar darker green color scheme, but it seems as though the final version turned out differently. So, you know, that's one thing to think about. Yeah, generally speaking, I'm a pretty big fan of this new Jabba set, part of the Movie Moments series that Funko is releasing. I guess they have, you know, several kind of movie scenes that they're recreating in Funko Pop form. So check that out if you're interested. At the moment, it's available on Amazon and elsewhere for $29.99. And I think for that price, it's pretty good. It's got a nice size to it, nice heft, and seems like a good quality. Finally, I wanted to take this new Jabba set and display him with all of my other Jabba's Palace related Funko Pops and just kind of see how they look together. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, this is more or less my entire selection of Jabba's Palace related pop figures. I have a feeling I might be omitting one or two, and if you notice something missing, I probably have it, I just couldn't find it or forgot about it. But, let me know in the comments just the same. I know there's a hooded Luke figure that I don't actually own that could go in this display, I suppose. I've left some out intentionally, like the sitting Leia that's from a previous Jabba set, and also this Salacious Crumb bobblehead. And of course there's also like the Gamorrean fighter. You could, and I often do, display him along with the other Jabba's Palace characters, but technically speaking, he's not from Return of the Jedi, so I'm not going to have him in here. In a similar vein, I also have like this Chewbacca that I could have displayed with Leia here, but yeah, I'm just sort of keeping it to the explicitly Jabba's Palace related ones. It took me quite a while to set up this little display, to be honest with you, but I do think they look quite good, and I really do like this new Jabba in the center there. He is definitely, in my opinion, superior to the previous entry, and, he's also a little bit smaller, which in this case I think is not a negative. It allows him to fit a little bit more easily into the display without, really sacrificing anything. He still looks giant compared to the other figures, so I think it's fine. Certainly he's much more appropriately sized than the original Jabba pop figure. Well, that's about it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this look at the Funko Pops in my collection. Let me know, first of all, if I forgot any from Jabba's Palace that I should have included, and then let me know which one of these you have and which are your favorites. Thanks for watching. This video was brought to you with the help of my patrons from Patreon, including my Palace VIPs, Angelica Brady and Jesper Murtu. I really appreciate your support. If you'd like to help support the channel for as little as $1 a month, you can get more information by clicking the link in the video description.